She explains it very well, doesn't she? Shamir Anderson now asking the Daily Mail to say sorry for putting those photographs up the way they did after the death of her brother, Ezekiel Clark, who was stabbed to death. And it made him and her look like they were the perpetrators. Maurice Mcleod is the chief executive of the race equality charity Race on the Agenda. Hello, Maurice. Good afternoon.
Hello, Sarah.
You've seen the article, I take it. You've looked at the pictures. What do you make of it?
I have indeed. I can see why she's upset. I mean, you know, the headline is two teenagers stab another child, and there's the picture of two and a picture of one. It's the logical thing to think when looking at a picture is, oh, these are the two killers, and this is the guy they killed. When it's exactly the opposite way around. So I can see why she's annoyed. Whether it's deliberate or not, it's always impossible to say in these cases. These sorts of things seem to happen with some sort of regularity. I think to be honest, what it suggests is that in the minds of maybe the picture editor, possibly the Daily Mail, readers, black people are synonymous with being the perpetrators rather than the victims of crime, even though that's often not the case. So I can really see why she's upset.
How do you think that newspapers do typically portray people then from black communities? I remember somebody once telling me something fascinating about black footballers, for example, and how they're sometimes portrayed in the media compared to white footballers.
Yeah, I mean, this has been an ongoing thing for decades, and I'm not going to pretend that some newspapers haven't got better over the years, but certainly, as you say, when you talked about football, you talk about the athleticism or the pace or the things that were more almost animalistic when you talk about black players, and when you talk about white players, they talk about their guile and how clever they were and how they were using their brains basically to play football. And the same sort of thing, to be honest, happens or has been happening for a long time about when especially youngish looking black people are portrayed in newspapers. It's almost always in connection with their connection to crime or criminality in some way. And it sort of really firms up that idea of black people being the perpetrators of crime rather than the victims, as we so very often are.
So what needs to be done? What could happen? Shamir's got a petition. She's been in touch with the Daily Mail. So have we, and we've not had a response yet. And I don't know whether we ever will.
I mean, I have to say, it seems like a fairly simple thing. I mean, if as I'm sure they're going to claim it was a mistake, because I noticed I have changed the picture now. If it was a mistake, then saying, "Oh gosh, sorry, we made a mistake, and we certainly didn't," that's a very easy thing to say. So I don't really understand why that is a particularly tough hurdle. Looking at it, in a more sort of systemic way. To be honest, until we have sort of newsrooms and picture desks that look a bit more like the society that they're reporting on, we're going to get these sorts of errors and one black person mistaken for another, all that sort of thing. This sort of thing is going to happen quite a lot, I'm afraid.
So we need more representation in newsrooms, in newspapers, picture editors. That's a fair point, I think. Thank you, Maurice. Good to talk to you. Maurice Mcleod, the chief executive of the race equality charity Race on the Agenda.